Hello, greetings everyone. Welcome to another episode of We Heal Nations, right? This evening, I just want to go over something that we started a couple of weeks back. All right, let me lower the music. I want to go over something because it's very important. So before I start, let me say welcome newcomers to We Heal Nations. I'm Vaughn, originally manifested on the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, or incarnated. There are many words we can use. I choose not to use born or the place of birth because of the overstanding or understanding of what it means in this three-dimensional realm. So, because I am designated to break the spells of the entrapment of three-dimensional worlds, I will try most of the time to use more appropriate words because we are breaking spells today and going forward. Many of us are under a spell and we still under the spell and we then don't realize it. So for those of us who are aware, we must continue to be in our present mode and operate in our proper present mode, in our essence as soul beings having an experience on earth, right? So I want to welcome you, and to those who are grieving, trust me, you haven't lost. They're with you. I know it's difficult. It could be difficult, but if we start looking at each other as energy that is sharing moments and sharing and growing and evolving, it will be more of a rejoicing that our ancestors are with us and the people you think you're losing are actually transforming or transitioning into a different realm to assist new earth, to assist us in this new realm of the mind, right? So today we are really focusing on St. Vincent and the Grenadines again. For those of you who are just now being a part of We Heal Nations as the community, because I was originally from that island, or I wouldn't say from, I'm from Earth, let's just put it, but because my affections, my lineage, that's where everything began. Even the old Earth began in this realm, this side of the Earth. So I have deep connections. However, I am not limiting myself to that. I am more than that, and so are you. So the reason I'm choosing to do and show St. Vincent and the spells of the island or the people on the island that is now called St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it's because it is a deeper spell than most people would think. And it's all connected to country, ports, the illusion of country and ports, and the idea that someone has to give you permission to move on your land when you are the land. So when I break stuff down, it's hopefully to inspire you and for you to see that it is more than what it portrays. All right. So without further ado, let's start with this agreement or relationship that they talk about St. Vincent and Canada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines have. And I think this is why all these things that I went through brought me here and keep bringing me back to Quebec / Montreal / Canada, whatever. It keeps bringing me back here because there was work that I had to do in order to see it fully, to see all of that. spell work, if you want to call it that, right? So on the website, international, it's www.international.gc.ca, and then it would have /country hyphen pay, which is PAYS. So that's country in French, right? And then that slash again, /again, I would have St. Vincent _Vincent Grenadines, and it says relations. But however, if you want to research it on your own, you can just punch into Google Canada's relationship with St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So it will quickly bring you to that page. So this is the way I do things. When certain things pops up, or if I hear something in the news, I would go to and look up the relationships and all of that. Now, however, this is just recent. These information are being disclosed because there, when Trump became elected as president of the incorporation of the United States, right? That's a difference. I specifically said that on purpose. It's an incorporation, a corporation that he is president or chief commander, really, of the military. He is chief commander and still is, folks, of the military. All right? Now, the people govern, the original organic people are the governor, those who are connected to the land in that way, whether through rape or whatever, ancestral lineage, whatever, they still have a connection to the land. And because we are all one in terms of energies and soul, we have to accept certain things and move on. Otherwise, we're not going to actualize the true beings of who we are in order to evolve to the next level in this time, which is we're going to a fifth dimensional state, which will eliminate a lot of stuff, basically cleaning up Earth from corruption, from blood hunger, blood-sucking beings that are amongst us, that love violence and love division, right? The low vibrational state that keeps you revolving in the same emotions, that keeps you from graduating. So I'm going to start by reading. It says St. Vincent and the Grenadines relations, right? Canada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines relations. So I'm going to the bilateral agreements, right? So bilateral, I already looked up the meaning of that on one other program. So their bilateral agreement is Canada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines have enjoyed a strong and collaborative relationship since 1979. Now, very important, that 1979, that's when they claimed that St. Vincent got independence, right? And I also broke down the independence. So I'm not going to go into that too much because we did most of this before. So independence meaning you're actually going into an agreement to depend on someone or something else, right? And so it says, when St. Vincent and the Grenadines gained independence, I don't know how you can gain independence like that, the people are already free and sovereign on the land. However, these are spell works, right? These are spells, right? Our rich, to listen to the words that they use. Our, and the our is them, right? Rich cooperation is built on multilateral development, meaning many different contracts in development, right? Development, security, collaboration, as well as strong people-to-people ties. It says people-to-people ties. It doesn't say that the collaboration and exchange is with the people, including tourism. They're tied to this. They have a tie to that. It has nothing to do with the people, right? On the multilateral stage, Canada collaborates with St. Vincent and the Grenadines to advance shared priorities such as addressing climate change. Now, whose issue is climate change? Is climate change, I forgot the last time they tagged me for saying that, but I'm not gonna, let's just emit that. Okay, so prompting economic security and strengthening multilateral multilateralism, meaning they're strengthening many different aspects of agreements, which include all kinds of blue economy, all kinds of stuff that has nothing again to do with the living, breathing man and woman or children on Earth, period. Right? It says Canada is represented in St. Vincent and the Grenadines by the High Commission of Canada in Barbados. Okay? Yes, the High Commissioner in Canada in Barbados. So if you guys have any issues, that's who you send your documents to and tell them to cease and desist. Okay? Because there's not a complete full disclosure out all of these beautiful words that they're putting. St. Vincent and Grenadines is represented in Canada by a non-resident High Commissioner based in Washington, D.C. and a consulate in Toronto. So St. Vincent has a non-resident. Okay? I can look up the High Commissioner. Okay, like in law, residents, I think I did this before, maybe not on this program because I share information with different people, right? Okay, it's related content, right? Related content, that's the, oh no, sorry. It went to something else that I was researching earlier. So let me go to what I'm looking for. Right? Okay, so it's at its simplest level, residence implies that a person is living in a jurisdiction. It implies it. It implies it. Remember, I did the example of what a person is, right? It can be a corporation, organization, fictitious person, really. It's not like the living person, because when they refer to a person, it's in all capital letter. It's a legal fiction. So that's like when they have your like driver's license in all caps, the passport is in all caps. They have the passport as a Canadian citizen or as a Vincentian citizen. They are legal fictions. They're not you. Let me repeat that, right? So a person living in a jurisdiction, first of all, a human is a soul living in a body, right? That makes a complete human. So you live in your body. You're this living soul. Your living soul as opposed to the SOLE that they put when they use the birth certificate information, the all caps, and they have sole proprietor, right? Meaning it's theirs. It ain't you. They now captured it via the citizenship, birth certificate, all of those things. And that's how they have you going from vessel to vessel using the ports, right? Because the true vessel that you came through, or the portal that you came through, is your mother's womb. So now in order for them to steal from you, they have to capture it in some other form, in a dead form, which to use the contracts, right? And everything has to connect to the legal aspect, like legalese. The legalese is a language used for contracts, so I'm just gonna say that meaning again. Resident in law means resident implies that a person is living in a jurisdiction, right? Your soul living in your body. person lives in a jurisdiction, living in a jurisdiction. So St. Vincent government lives in St. Vincent and the Grenadines Corporation country. The parliament lives in the country. So when you go into the parliament building, you're in fact going into a foreign place. Does that make sense? Think about it. If you're on your land, and in order for somebody to say that you're lost at sea, you would have to go on a ship because they salvage you, right? Which would be the citizenship. The citizenship refers to the country that is created in fiction to do business using ports, the cruise ship ports, right? And again, I'm going to bring up I have to go over these things because a lot of people still don't get it. Now, on your birth certificate, it says port, it says entry, date of entry. It doesn't say port of entry, but date of entry. When something arrives, a shipment, they says date of entry. If a baby has arrived through the mother's womb, it would say something else. Right? I mean, they say date of birth, or you could say born date or arrival on, in this plane. But these are all the terms that you need to look at carefully and examine, and also research them in law, in legalese, etc. Right? So let's look at, for example, a person may reside in a place even if he or she is not physically present there from time to time. See that tricky thing that they put there? Now, the actual thing that resides there is all the registration that was done in that country. So you registered where you live, with the postal code and all of that. That's in a jurisdiction. A postal code represents a jurisdiction, right? Address represents jurisdiction. All of these things, it's jurisdiction. So this is how they trick you, all right? You live in your body. You're dwelling on earth. That gives you dominion on earth because you were born through a womb, and it states that you have inheritance from that fact that you are blood, flesh, man, woman. So it is a big difference, and I just want to be able to break that down for you guys. So let's go back to the second part. It says trade relations. Keep in mind what I just said. In 2021, Canada's merchandise exports to St. Vincent and the Grenadines total, this is 1 year, right? 2021, total 22.9 million. So I don't know what kind of relationship that is, considering most of the people on that island the majority earns less than $500 a month. Okay? And merchandise imports from St. Vincent and the Grenadines is 75,400. I don't know what that is. Could be that the registration or registrants, which means the living body, who then puts themselves on a piece of paper in all caps. It could be through that, because for as long as I know, there's been issues with anything being imported to Canada because of so many restrictions with the banana, mealybug, and this was done intentionally, people. Because you say that you live in St. Vincent, which is in a piece of paper contract, not on the land. This is why they can restrict you from shipping goods to your other tribe members across the land, which includes Canada, United States of the Americas is Canada, by the way. Canada, United States of America, and not Canada or like say Montreal, Canada, because Canada is a state of the United States of the Americas. Now, there are 2 states in each, like say Florida. Florida state and the state of Florida. The state of Florida is the fraud, similar to St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the all caps being the fraud. If you want to call the land back Euro-May, that would be more land on the land, or the people's, like, I don't know, any name that you use that is not in any past name in reference to, or not in all caps, then that is on the land, and they cannot tell you on the land how to do your business and trade, because you have a right to business and trade on your land as living man and woman, right? And I'm using this on purpose, this whole thing, because I'm showing you how the whole system is a fraud. They didn't tell you outright that you have the right not to become a citizen, or whether it's Canadian or Vincentian, as they say it, right? They didn't tell you that there's a difference. They have to tell you, right? They don't tell you. That's an agreement, takes all parties having intention to benefit one another. But there's one party who has intentions to benefit themselves, and that's false intention. That is harmful intentions. So that can be considered treason, right? So Canada main exports to St. Vincent and the Grenadines include some consumer goods, industrial machinery, equipment and parts, motor vehicle parts, metal and non-metallic mineral products. Now, I don't know what we're doing with these. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like if we're bringing in all these things in there in a small island, $75,400 worth of these parts and machinery and stuff. What has been done with that to flip and to create an economy, or even, like, let's say we're going along with the fraud to do stuff, right? To do business. What is the gain? What is the what has been gained in 2021? Okay, it says due to the Commonwealth Caribbean countries tariff, CARICAN, they say it's a tariff, CARIBCAN, an economic and trade development assistance program. There goes the programming again. You have to get unprogrammed, right? For the Commonwealth Caribbean countries. Listen again, Commonwealth Caribbean countries. Remember what I said countries are. They are de facto corporations stealing from you using the birth certificate. Has nothing to do with you. Okay? And territories established by Canada in 1985. Okay? This was established in 1985. And that word Commonwealth, what does Commonwealth means to you folks? Huh? What does it mean? Alright? Let me see what they have for this cow. And remember, you're not Caribbean. You're not a Caribbean. You're not cannibalistic, because that's what the two different terms. And being meaning like being. You're not. You're a divine being. Okay? So let's like take away all of these things that are keeping us back. These are things that are keeping us back. So we're going to go for a break soon. But before we go for a break, I want to just look up this meaning of Commonwealth. Okay. So it says an independent country or community, especially a democratic republic. How could it be democratic and republic at the same time? This is what a commonwealth is for them. It's not for you. It says an international association consisted of the UK, together with states that were previously part of the British Empire. Huh? And dependencies. And dependencies. And dependencies. That's the spell, people. You got to look up. The British monarch is symbolic head of the Commonwealth. Symbolic head. Symbolic head. It means it's not the real head. The monarch is not the real head. We spoke about a little bit finding, the Vatican, who created all religion, all the stuff that divides everybody. Okay? All these organizations, it's a symbolic head. Dependencies. What does it say about this dependency? A dependent or subordinate thing. That's what St. Vincent and the Grenadines is. It's a subordinate. It's not you, however. When you learn your power, when you learn who you are, then they have no rights over you, because it's a subordinate thing and you're not a thing. The thing is St. Vincent and the Grenadines in all caps, especially a country or province controlled by another. That's a dependency, right? Which similar means colony, protectorate, province, dominion, outpost, okay? Satellite, all of those are dependencies. Dependence, on oil or industry, something you're dependent on something. So this is what you went into. You went into. Okay? This is very clear when you break down the words, that you have absolutely nothing to do with St. Vincent and the Grenadines, CARICOM, CARICOM, all of that. Carry and come. Like, you could break down the words for yourself. Carib. They were saying we were cannibals. And cannibals and Canada. Really? Is that what it is? But who's the real cannibals here? Who's been sucking blood? Who's been, having these people, these families disappear? Who's been massacring our ancestors all over the planet? Okay, who's the cannibals here? Come on, folks, come on. Like, I want you all to wake all the way up. Wake all the way up, my people, my beautiful light. You have a light in there to shine, and I know it. I see it. I feel it. I smell it. Okay, wake up, my people. Okay, just breaking down that one little paragraph. Right? The territories that they're covering to have our mind captured in their Carib stuff. Those terms are not from us. They're not. All right? And this was created in 1985. And Canada's other tariff preference measures, 96% of all Caribbean exports to Canada enter duty-free. Wow. So when you guys have to send your family something up here, how much are they charging you? So the 4% of the stuff coming up here, that's what's being charged. It's us, the people. We are slaves, honey. Slave. So if you can't get it, that it's not a beautiful thing to become a citizen of Canada. I did it. But I was a young girl under my mother. I was 14 when I was coerced, all right, into these things, and was not giving full disclosure. But when you come to your age of majority, meaning understanding that you're the majority stakeholder of your mentals, right, then you can, as well, can now use paper back on them to expose their fraud and then demand your justice. That's how it works. You're not waiting for Jesus to come and do it. Okay? You're not waiting you have to get that justice or Jesus from your own inner exploration. All right? So that's where we're at with this. That's just amazing. So the next thing that's the trade, development now. Development. Yes, ma'am. Development. But you know what? I'll take a break here and let my guy there do his thing and put the ads in. But before we go, let me just click on the music again so you can hear a little bit of, just a little bit. Heal the Nations. I knew this new song someone did for me. Each generation gotta go within.
That's the pure Mac. On the key, open eyes to be free. That's that. Yup. Keep going, keep moving, keep flowing, keep going, keep knowing, keep doing. Understand? Yup. Each
And we're out, folks. We'll be back.